Good morning, it is Phoenix Amore. So let's talk about all these happenings as of late. The one thing that I loved about reading this one article, as people are really getting back, this is a beautiful thing. People are really getting back to one nation under God. It just had to be a little chaotic to get here. So now you really understand what the term the veil broke. Veil broke means stuff's gonna have to hit the fan. And people had to start shifting their mindset. What you have naturally, right? If people have been holding on, think of it like a tug of war game, right? You had this pull and that pull and all that. And guess what? What you have is the pit, hell, right? Understand the one song that I put up, right, about the victory. Guess what? I get the victory. Here's the problem. It's not him, me, anybody else, but God. So when God is sending a message, you don't get to politicize the message from God himself. This is why I had to break it down for some people who understand now. Some of them think of this whole thing where, well, what man is God? That's what I describe to be that kind of Illuminati thinking in that regard, where they go, which man is God? Which person is God? Nobody. God, right? Even when the writer was like, maybe God is a black woman. No, not really. But I just sat there and said, okay, at least we know where their thinking is. So now here you have this guy writing this article, which is a beautiful thing. Now, she may have meant right now the instrument that God is using is the black lady. Understand something. So in all fairness, for her to word it like that could have been that. Let's say we're having an objective conversation. Maybe that's what she meant. Is this person here is a true blue, right, channel instrument that God is speaking through. And that does happen. Now, the problem is when you have political people with their agendas feel like they may actually have to compromise. So you go back into that tug of war, right? And so some people have an opportunity to get on that other side and say, hey, this is off balance. Let me help out over here. And the ones that are going to be so hard to stay over there, guess what? They're going to fall in the pit. So all these things that I'm looking at with people, right? And I'm like, look, you can do you. This is the thing that I describe to people. If stuff is hitting you in the fan in your life, you're usually not on the right path. It's really just that simple. So the thing that this guy with this research group has pointed out is something that a long time ago people were saying. It's now a joke, right? When people call them out, it's a joke, but it's not a joke then. And that's the whole thing that I love is happening. Is people like, no, you don't get to flip-flop and call everybody that's conservative Christian crazy. Finally, people are understanding the way that I was wording things when I said I'm more conservative than I am liberal. What some people even realize now is some of the liberals think being liberal is you can sin and do what the hell you want. So it's all this terminology stuff that got convoluted. Here's why I feel it had to get chaotic. Because you have all these platforms. Now you have an information war. Now I'm going to break something down and get very deep with people this morning, because these are the videos that people love to hear about rather than politicizing every damn thing in religion and spirituality. When I spoke of Moses, people started arguing Moses was really can't count. Let me just finish here what I'm saying to you. Every story is how God tries to articulate to people. Some people have certain spiritual gifts. The story I talked about with my two Pisces cousins, second cousins, because they're children of my first cousin, but they're twins. I went to their house. They interpreted something wrong. I didn't care. This is how God prepared me to be so strong spiritually. But her two Pisces twins said they saw this white snake after I left. I have no doubt that they did. Now, guess what? It's left up to me to explain to people. That staff, spiritual plane, understands something very clearly. When God said, put your staff down and turn it into a snake. That snake is different from serpents that I said serpents only. Serpents, right, are basically a symbol of quote unquote evil. That snake that Moses turned the staff into is more like authority, God's authority. So understand how Satan works, right? So even biblically, when you look at some of this stuff and it says Satan turned himself into this great, right, dragon with 7 heads. Understand something. He tries to take the terminology and make people crazy. Understand that's Satan's whole thing, how they recruit people. So he goes to the people of the nations, right? And he is this big massive beast, and people are like, we're supposed to praise this thing. here because we're scared and we don't have any other options here. But people term dragon. So now people started thinking about dragons as always Satan. That's not the truth. That seven-headed dragon was representative of Satan. Dragon itself was actually, again, this is something Satan does. Dragon was actually, if you're talking about parables and all that, this is where God is going. Dragons were exalted. So you understand what Satan said. Let me turn myself into a seven-headed dragon. I'm going to be bigger and badder than the dragon that God created. And these people are going to be so in awe, they're going to give me their praise and all that. And that's exactly what happened. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to be bigger. I'm going to be badder, right? And then everybody's going to praise me. That is Satan and how he works. So now when you have all these folks now coming to a conclusion that maybe they were wrong. You're not supposed to be able to do whatever you want to do. How would that be a sign of God's love to say, hey, y'all just screw each other over. Do what you want to do. That is not making sense at all to a whole lot of people now, clearly, because they're willing to speak up and say, why do you think it's a joke when you were talking about this guy and he's conservative or Republican, when Oprah said the same thing in her speech and everybody was like, girl, that is beautiful, we loved it, and blah, blah, and Oprah's just so great, Oprah for president. But you're going to tell the vice president he crazy when he talking about Jesus. Y'all make no sense. I'm glad people are calling you to the carpet to have to say, hey, you double talk too much. People are tired of it. So here we have it, right? Think about it. Bigger and badder, right? Think about what's happening in our politics. Well, so-and-so got invited to the wedding. Bigger and badder. What is stupid? So this is where I talk about being demonic and having satanic tendencies, because it's always that one up. And can't you see they are so distraught that so-and-so got invited to the wedding? I'm sorry, we really don't care, because there was a shooting in Florida where a whole lot of kids got killed. So if you want us to care about a wedding in some other country in the midst of our own stuff, you are sadly mistaken. And now people look at you like that big bag dragon. So here we had this morning, earthquake in the UK, England. You know why? Because true faces get shown again. What starts getting pumped out? Ooh, look how chaotic the White House is. Now, boom, earthquake there, because they were trying to play into this whole thing with causing all this chaos, because everybody hates Trump. That's the whole sentiment now, right? So the problem is, guess what? God loves Trump just the same as he loves Obama, just the same as he loves Oprah, same as he loves me. So you're going to run into some issues when you start to try to beat down one man for your agendas or for your advertising, because at the end of the day, God loves everybody. That's something you guys cannot comprehend. So here we are now, people understanding that you can't just flip everything the way you want to out of political agendas. Sin is sin. God expects that people are going to sin. That is not something somebody should have turned into anything goes, because it makes no sense. Why would somebody's father, if you think of God like a father, sit back and let people just do anything to each other and not have some repercussions? That's where everybody in that mindset went wrong. So good. Everybody's becoming a little bit more grounded. And when I was talking about being fully integrated, talking about my name, Phoenix Amori, being given to me after I went through this really immense spiritual growth, understand that Phoenix is in the Bible too. It's about the resurrection. That name came to me because it's like reborn from love. Now, people get it twisted. Their love is do anything to you, you love them no matter what. No, that is that sin aspect. So now you guys see, when I said something like, you'll make me get on the dragon, that staff had the ability to turn, quote unquote, to a dragon. Those are all things on the spiritual plane. So all these cerebral people who could not understand, this is what I said, only select few, right, with this third eye, which should not be assumed to be Illuminati. When people talk about third eye, that just means they have that gift, right? That's the difference there. Everything became convoluted. So here's the beautiful thing. As the veil is breaking and the chaos is happening, you have a lot more Christian, quote unquote, conservative people that are like, you know what? We're a little bolder now. As you had them start to show on these campuses, all these conservative people that were freaked the hell out, scared, being beaten down, prophetic dreamers that had the dreams about being beaten down. You know what it is now. Conservative folks on campus being scared. No, we love so-and-so. Imagine, that's just like that seven-headed beast. No, we do. We love him. We love him. Oh, God, what's going to happen if I say I really don't? Think about it. Take care.